Now to a decision in the U.S. which could have wide-reaching consequences for the country's politics. Despite a 2-week protest by Democratic lawmakers, Texas Republicans have taken the first step to approving new congressional maps that would give their party as many as 5 new seats in the House of Representatives. The row has sent ripples across the country as governors from both parties threaten to redraw maps in their states to win more seats.
Texas Democrats on Monday ended their 2-week walkout. Their fleeing delayed the Republican Party's effort to redraw congressional districts, a process also known as gerrymandering. Democrats argue that Republicans are using their majority in Texas to redraw election maps to give Republicans potentially another 5 seats in the U.S. Congress. The debate has spread across the country. Democrats and their supporters believe Donald Trump will pressure Republicans in Texas and other states where they have majority to use gerrymandering to keep the party in power.
We have to stand up to the bully in the White House and his attempt to redistrict all of Texas so that he doesn't lose.
Trump is trying to destroy our democracy. If we go through with this gerrymandering in Texas, and other red states follow, this is a race to destroy democracy in our country.
Republicans say they're playing by the rules, but Democrats are also fighting back. Democrats enjoy a majority in the state of California, and they're on track to pass their own redrawing there.
We divide less cities, less communities. We're more compact, but we also identify 5 seats held by Republicans that likely could be electing a Democrat if these maps were adopted.
Democratic and Republican leaders in some other states have said they're open to redrawing districts in the fight over the U.S. House.
And let's bring in Mark Gaber. He's head of the Redistricting Litigation and Policy Program at the Campaign Legal Center, a nonpartisan nonprofit organization. Mark, gerrymandering is common in the U.S. Both parties have done it. Why is this so contentious?
Well, it usually does not happen in the middle of a 10-year period. In the U.S., we have our census at the beginning of the 10-year period, and then that's usually it for redistricting. This is highly unusual to have the president ordering a state to conduct redistricting in the middle of a 10-year period, and it has set off a race to the bottom among the states of a battle for who can control Congress.
And what is the strategic goal exactly behind Trump's push for redistricting?
Well, I think what's interesting here is the rationale that Texas and President Trump have cited for redistricting in Texas in particular is to eliminate districts where Black and Latino voters have succeeded in electing their preferred candidates. And that's sort of a outright explicit goal that they've said. That's illegal under the United States Constitution, and that has caused it to be quite a contentious issue in Texas. You can expect to see litigation in federal court about this immediately after the map passes. And that has set off a chain event where California, as you mentioned, is responding in kind. Other states are looking at this as well. And it really has a destabilizing effect on the voters and their expectations for who represents them. It's not a good thing.
Right, the Democrats want to pass their own redrawing of the map in California. What can we expect there versus what may happen in Texas?
Well, in California, they are bringing a ballot measure to the voters this November to get the voters' approval on whether to pass this map. California has a citizen redistricting process in their constitution that normally addresses how this is done. But the governor there has made a calculation that the voters of California will be willing to approve a temporary change here. What we're seeing in Texas is a bit different. The legislature is sort of quickly passing this through, as I said, on the backs of Black and Latino voters who together form a majority of the state of Texas and really silencing their voices.
If we zoom out here, we're talking about state politics for now. Texas largely Republican, California largely Democrat. How does this really impact national politics, though?
Well, those two states, I think the idea for Governor Newsom there is that that would counteract what happens in Texas. There are other states that are redistricting. Ohio is redistricting. There's talk that Missouri may do this. There's a push for Indiana to do this. Governor DeSantis has said in Florida he'd like to do this. And so, that's a number of seats that could change. And the current composition of Congress is very tight. Republicans have a very narrow majority. With President Trump being a Republican, usually the other party tends to do better in the midterm election. So I think there's an expectation that the Democrats will pick up seats. But the goal of the Republicans here seems to be, at least in these states aside from Texas, to block Democrats from getting elected in those seats.
Mark Gaber from the Campaign Legal Center, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me, David.